Hello and welcome everyone to my live training all about what to pin on Pinterest. Now, in full disclosure, this is my first live stream on YouTube, and really it's just so that I can get going again. I'm laughing because actually, in fact, you can see that my husband is folding laundry in the corner here, but we are ripping off the Band-Aid. We're not going to worry about what you can and cannot see because this is very much indeed real life. So I wanted to host this live video training on what exactly to post on Pinterest because I get this question all the time. As someone who works in the Pinterest marketing world, I kind of assume that if you're already looking up information about Pinterest, about how to use Pinterest, how to drive more traffic, that you might already know what you can be pinning to Pinterest to drive revenue, to drive website traffic, and things that help you make more money online. But the reality is you don't know what you don't know. So if you're watching this live video, make sure you jump into the chat, say hello. And if you're watching the replay, I'd love for you to jump into the comments and let me know what type of business you have. Because here's the thing, no matter your business, it is in your best interest as a business owner, as a brand, to get active, to start promoting the things that generate revenue for you. And so when somebody, just the other day on TikTok, somebody said to me, Megan, like, what can I post on Pinterest if I'm not a product-based business? And it's actually quite laughable for me is that I find that I just assume that you know that Pinterest is a social media platform, not necessarily like Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube, but it's a platform or channel where you can promote your business. So it's assumed that you have a business and that you have monetized it in some way. So lots of people tuning in. Send James to my house. I have 6 loads of unfolded laundry. Yeah, well, I will, and I think James is actually popping in with my coffee. James, we're laughing that all your clothes are in the corner here of my live. Okay. So let's jump in. Today's goal is to really help you shift the mindset and understanding that you already have everything you need to get going on Pinterest. And it's just a matter of what. What should you be pinning as an artist? What can you share if you're a product based business? Outside of links to your products, what type of content is actually going to drive growth for you as a business owner, to drive visibility? So you might just want more eyes on the thing that is already making you money. How can you get more people into your sales funnel? Becoming email subscribers. If you're watching or joining us live, I would love to know what you are hoping to do when you promote or market your business. How do you make money? Where do you want to bring people that results in you generating income, revenue, or sales? So think, is it like your shop? You have an e-commerce. Maybe you're an artist and you want to get people to your online shop or to come to a gallery and buy your art. If you're an author, maybe you want to. Yeah, Sarah's seeing that James just quietly pushed his laundry out of the way. You guys will laugh. 3 minutes before I sat down, I was rushing in with my children from spring break because that's the reality of it. We are on spring break. I am a business owner though. And so it is in my best interest to always make sure that I'm reaching out to you, educating you, and providing value. Now, let's get back on track. And this is one of the problems with doing a live training is that it can be a little bit squirrely. So be patient with us if you're watching the replay. But what I really want to talk about is that you already have things or hopefully have plans for things that are generating revenue or paying you or resulting in some sort of measurable growth. I do think that there is a this funny thing where you either track your data and your numbers or you don't look at them at all. And I think that we can balance it. As somebody who's been working in online marketing for over 10 years, I would say that I like to make data driven decisions. I use data to help make things more clear because oftentimes it's right in front of us and we can sometimes over intellectualize overthink what we're doing in our marketing because we can get paralysis analysis. It's like there are so many ways that you can be marketing your business. And what I want you to know is that you already have a lot of the content you need to get active and consistent on Pinterest. When you begin to get active and consistent on Pinterest, it means that you're giving that platform energy. When you turn your energy to something, it naturally will grow. So I want you to really think about the intention and the mindset that you need to bring to your Pinterest marketing so it's not going to grow on its own. It's not going to do account research for you, right? You need to really think about how you can dedicate resources. And even if these are in between moments, hands up for people who feel like, you are marketing your business, you are getting on social media in the in between moments. Can I be honest? Like, I have some very ambitious goals for myself for 2025, and I'm creating short form video when I start my dog walk in the morning. I am posting to threads when I'm busy, like making dinner or prepping dinner. And and I'm a full-time marketer. This is my job. And I too, I'm a lot like you in that it's not perfect, it's messy. And remember, done is better than perfect. And so if you don't get moving on Pinterest, it's not going to grow for you. And my biggest goal as a Pinterest marketing person or Pinterest expert is really to help show you that it doesn't have to be difficult. We can do this with the least amount of friction. And then once you start seeing that return, and these are some of the key metrics you could be looking at: website traffic, saves, people reaching out to ask if they can hire you. So client inquiries, people joining your email list, people adding, right? My return to YouTube. I am here and I am back. It's a joke because the last video I recorded, I was heavily, like, not heavily pregnant. I was pregnant, sick as a dog. And that video still drives growth for me. And actually, this all brings things home. It's a great point for me to share a lot when I'm talking about marketing in my closed programs. And actually, in fact, we have people who are watching the live training today who are in my paid programs. And when you come to my paid programs, we start with Pinterest, but it's about so much more. It's about marketing that drives evergreen results for you. And what do I mean by evergreen? I mean things that work for you down the road later. We're not talking about, I was just going to make a really rude joke. We're not talking about one and done. You can guess the joke that I was going to make. Um, this is about creating content that takes on a life of its own, that snowballs for weeks and months and years to come. And in fact, I just had somebody on Threads. They posted about how the Pinterest girlies were actually right. It's a pin from 3 weeks ago that's driving exponential growth today. And that's actually a very short runway. What I actually find for a lot of my students and clients is what is driving website traffic, email signups, and purchase of low ticket or low cost tools direct from Pinterest. Okay. So, not necessarily entering a long funnel or touching all the things in your ecosystem or your sales funnel, but things that are selling literally while you are sleeping or while you're off living life. I know that's like a thing people say, but it's actually true for your Pinterest efforts, YouTube efforts, anything that is search based. We are investing in search engine optimization. I was like, should I spell this out? I'm going to spell it out because I know we have a lot of beginners. If you're a Pinterest for beginner, like if you raise your hand for being a beginner, there's no shame, right? The thing is that Pinterest is just a different beast than other platforms. And I think that we're in this day and age where we are conditioned that we should get results. We post, we make a sale. And that's just not how it is in 2025. So, what I want for you is that we are going to talk about the content that you already have that could be resulting in growth for you in months and years to come because you need that sustainability in your marketing plan. You might not need it today. You might have the wiggle room, you might have the privilege of time in your schedule, but trust me, down the road, and actually, my friend Jessie just put out an Instagram reel, and I love this. She labeled it SEO is self care. As a business owner. So when I say SEO, that could be your Pinterest search efforts, it could be YouTube, it could be your website related strategy related to SEO, and to some degree, even TikTok. TikTok is really gaining momentum in the SEO world. So, Daniel says I'm an SEO expert and I do have to spell it out. I also want my trainings and my teachings, especially as I reemerge here on TikTok or on TikTok, on YouTube. I'm also reemerging on TikTok, is that I want things to not feel overwhelming. I want you to come away from this training being like, oh, this is starting to make sense. I will be really honest in that a lot of people who are, in my world, they have a blind you have to do like a trust fall with me sometimes in the beginning where it's like Megan's teaching me all these things about sales funnels and about creating high quality content to grow my audience and that I have to start pinning to Pinterest consistently. And it's sort of like, okay, well, when am I going to see the results? When we think about Pinterest, it's a long game. Okay, we're not going to see results right away, but trust me when I say this, and I've been screaming it on my email list, is that when we work on your Pinterest marketing, I promise you, we are going to transform all of your marketing because at the root of successful Pinterest efforts is you focusing on your audience. And when you position yourself as the expert that you are, as the amazing creative person that you are, that has gifts to share with the world, and you focus on, well, how can I meet my audience where they're at? How can I help them? How can I provide value to them? The rest is so easy, and your marketing will literally feel like you're literally just having those conversations with your people. You're explaining things in a way that makes sense. You're sharing your gift with them. So we have lots and lots of people who are sharing how they make money and all the amazing different ways that they want to be using Pinterest. So let's talk about it. I have so many people who come to me who say that they have no idea what to pin on Pinterest. And worse, if they, are pinning here and there, that they're seeing no consistent results. So what we often need as business owners is to feel return on our investment or ROI. We want to see that our efforts are working. So how you can measure that in your early days with your Pinterest marketing journey is ask yourself, are people saving my content? Are people engaging with my content? And am I giving them a reason to leave Pinterest? We call this a conversion. It means that somebody in your audience is stumbling across one of your Pinterest posts or your Pinterest pins or a video on the platform, and they are so compelled by what you shared that they want to go to your website or to the location where you are sharing your knowledge, your genius, or sharing something that you think is of value to them. It could be an affiliate link. It could be that you're taking them to a podcast. Maybe you were interviewed, maybe you host a podcast. Maybe you're taking them to your YouTube channel, to a YouTube video. Maybe you're bringing them to a spoonflower shop where you sell your designs. Maybe you're bringing them to an article that you were interviewed for. Whatever it is, what we want to think about and that step back and that reframe that we need to think about is, what are we linking to that will result in growth for you as a business owner? So the one thing about Pinterest, it's like the original platform that literally did not penalize you and told you to put links or URLs or destination links on all of the content you are sharing to Pinterest. And I know some people will be like, oh, it's not the only platform, but literally it was one of the first platforms where we could market our businesses, where it was encouraged that we could share direct links every single day. Think about Instagram. How many years have we been slogging away at Instagram and that we weren't allowed to have links unless we had over 10K? That if you share a link to your Instagram stories plummet, they go through the floor. I would say that on TikTok, it's very similar. Links aren't necessarily easy. You're punished if you say bio, link in bio. So we have to play all these like weird dancing games. And Pinterest is this place that wants you to promote that the content you create, wants you to promote your products, and does not penalize you. But it's very, very helpful if we have a strategy. So what I want to talk about is sort of this idea of pinning with purpose. But how do we pin with purpose if we don't know what to pin? And I will say that students come into my programs, people buy my offers because they just want me to tell them what to do. And I get it. I do the same. I hire people because I'm like, I am so tired. Just please tell me what I need to do to make this work for me, right? Like, who hasn't, like, I feel like sometimes also when you're in your own business, it's hard for you to see things clearly. But when we're consuming so much content online, we're looking at other business owners, we're watching what we're doing, is we are noticing what they're doing, what we like, what we're drawn to avoid looking at our own stuff, right? Like hands up for anybody who like spends a lot of time engaging with, watching others. I have to say as a highly observant person, it's a gift and a curse. So sometimes I will use it as an excuse to avoid doing a task. But I learn a lot about what I like, what gets engagement. But what I want to say is that when you actually realize all of the content that you can be sharing to Pinterest, you realize it doesn't have to be hard, that it can actually be really easy. And I think sometimes it kind of feels like you're just creating pins and throwing them out there. It's like, oh, I'm going to pin this product. Oh, what about my lead magnet? 3 weeks later, you share a video because you heard you should do that. Then you try designing something new in Canva and you spend half an hour and you only end up pinning two things. That is just showing up sporadically, and that will not result in any growth. So let's jump into what you can actually be sharing to Pinterest that will result in your account growing, in more people discovering you, as well as actual sales. I think that we have a big problem in the Pinterest marketing world is a lot of people feel that they're able to teach Pinterest, but they don't actually understand when there are these like hiccups or problems. And that's actually what I love doing. People bring me in on high level brand strategy so that I can troubleshoot. How do we go from making $10 a day to $20? How do we go from one lead a day to 100 leads, and creating that roadmap? And I think that that's like, I really resonated. Who's watched Martha Stewart's documentary? Martha Stewart talked about how she has an innate gift for looking at things really quickly and realizing the gaps and the things that are missing. And some people might say that I'm highly critical. Some people might say that, right, I'm so obsessed. You know what? I think it's because she is a very interesting person who was punished for being incredibly intelligent, being incredibly like what she did at the time that she did it, people hated her and people hate successful women. I'll just be really honest. People The misogyny runs so deep in business that people are very, very threatened by somebody who's driven and fierce. And her brain, and I have to say, like, probably some of my love for the way that she thinks is I used to be a school psychologist and I would do these very complex psychoeducational assessments. So my job was to figure out what's really, really easy for this child and what do they excel at. And what is difficult for them? And then how do we bring this together and support them to be successful on their own path to learning? And I think that part of that is really looking at all the pieces and how they fit together, and then how we create an environment that supports that child or that learner. And I think that marketing your business in 2025 is exactly the same. So, what we need to figure out is what pieces of the puzzle do you have that you need to bring together to grow your business? And when it comes to the Pinterest piece, Pinterest is just one part of your marketing plan, and it's complementary to your other marketing efforts. And that's what's so beautiful. And this is a great segue for me that I didn't plan, is that you already have the content you need to start getting active on Pinterest. So, what does that look like? How do we get you over there? And Pinterest does not penalize you for repurposing content, for taking content that you created for Instagram, TikTok, your email list, blog content, YouTube. Maybe you publish on Substack. Maybe you publish on Medium. Maybe you get interviewed a lot and you're featured. So there's links to interviews with you. Maybe you're active on Threads or the Forbidden X. Maybe you are someone who does audio. You have a podcast or you have your Discord or what are all those other audio? I'm not an audio person like in that audio world, but I do know there are a lot of platforms that people are moving towards communities and groups that are audio based. Um, I think that there are so many ways that you can market your business, and that content lends to you taking it and repackaging it for your unique audience on Pinterest. So, really, stick with me because I'm going to be sharing something that's going to make this so easy for you. And I think that what we do know is that some people are using Pinterest, but the strategy they're using isn't working. And I could go on and on about how a lot of people, what happens is, if you are an extremely online person, is that you probably check out YouTube if you love video, if you love longer format video, you maybe read blog content, maybe you see like little viral snippets on threads. But the problem is, these are all like little crumbs, right? They only teach you one little piece. And I think that what happens is that when you are trying to hobble together a Pinterest strategy that's based up of a like series of patchwork. What is going on with my hair over here? Little patchwork. It's like some, little weird things. Um, uh, is that when you try to do that, what happens is it never comes together to actually result in growth. And so you might get some like little hits where you're like, "Ooh, this little thing worked," but it's not enough to move forward. So what I will say is that when you're pinning randomly and you're just like, okay, I think this is what I should be doing, and you have no clear strategy, what happens is you just start pinning more, but it's not necessarily resulting in that growth for you. And so there's no demand for the solution that you offer for that high value content. People don't have a reason to leave the platform. And I often talk about like it's your responsibility. If you've ever taken one of my free Pinterest challenges, I run them 3 times a year, we get incredible results. And what I always say during the free Pinterest challenge is it's your responsibility, whether you like it or not. You are a business owner in 2025, whether you are an author, an artist, a yoga teacher, a automations expert, you are a content creator, you're an SEO person, you are a course creator, if you sell cowboy hats, if you are a service-based business like a photographer, you need to market your business. Okay, whether you like it or not. Okay, we're all victims of the fact that we started businesses and didn't realize how much we needed to actually invest and wear that sort of marketing hat, but you do. And I think that part of that is that um, we feel resentment towards having to create content. We should just know that people should just be able to effortlessly find us and buy our things. But it's 2025. People are not buying if they don't trust you and know you and love you. Okay. This is true for a lot of niches. I think we've seen a huge shift in the online world marketing. The things that used to be easy and effortless are no longer. And we need to put that intention behind. And Pinterest is no different. So people who are just pinning 100 pins a day to an Etsy link, people who are just shoving out content with no regard for the platform in how you need to shift it. They're treating Pinterest like another social media platform. So you're just taking what you created for Instagram and slopping it up on Pinterest. Okay. So Pinterest is a search engine. And I'll shout this from the roofs. I talk about it all the time. And it's not just a place for inspiration. The pinners that are heading there, are potential customers, our potential audience, they come there to take a desired action. So when you open your phone and jump on a place like Instagram, we're often looking to see what people are up to. We're not actively seeking to buy something or find a product, but we do passively find products, get interested and buy them. I'm not going to deny that. But I will say that people come to Pinterest with a problem. They're actively seeking something. And so, yes, in some cases, it might be inspiration, but it's also they are seeking solutions to problems that they have. They're looking for products, they're looking for guides, they're looking for information, tutorials, something that will inspire or move them to change. And that's what's so beautiful about Pinterest is it's very rare that pinners are on the platform just for vibes. They're actively on the platform seeking solutions. And you as a business owner, whether you like it or not, your art, your book, your digital product, your physical product offers a problem to the solution that they have. And I know this feels like an old trope, but I think that a lot of new business owners, you just don't realize that. You don't really realize that when you are creating content that you need to think about why am I creating this? I would say that what I notice is it's sort of like we're all consuming content. We're listening to the Instagram experts. We're listening to the short form video experts. We're listening to people like me, the Pinterest experts. And it's like we're grabbing all these snippets, but it never feels like it really comes together to work together, right? And that's what happens when you're distracted, when you're consuming more content than what you're actually taking action on, because we probably to some degree have this big block or resistance or imposter syndrome about being seen and observed. I think that I've been thinking this little nugget for a while, but a lot of business owners are talking about Instagram trials right now. I don't know if you have trials on your Instagram account, but it allows you to toggle on a feature where your Instagram reel will only be shown to new people. And what's really fascinating from a psychological perspective is this idea that you know your existing audience won't see it. So it offers this great opportunity as a business owner, but it's also guaranteeing that your friends and family and colleagues and biz besties, people that you love, won't see you putting yourself out there. And there's something very freeing about that from a psychological perspective, right? Is that I think that one beautiful thing about Pinterest is it really is this like introvert's playground. It's very, very rare that we're not going there necessarily to create community or engagement, even if Pinterest wants us to do those things. As business owners, we know that we can promote our business, that our results will rank and show in search and people can discover us every single day, but we don't have to worry about being seen. It's sort of this like quiet experimental playground. And it's maybe why I've always been drawn to it. Nobody's watching what I'm doing there. So, what I want to talk about is that Pinterest is a search engine. And so, because of that, we have to adapt our strategy, we have to adapt our content. Now, the next big mistake that I see people making is they're only posting one type of content on the platform. They are embracing 2015, 2016 Pinterest vibes where we would post images and ghost, and we would post the same image over and over and over and over again to a million group boards, and then we would disappear. That is not Pinterest of 2025, okay? Pinterest has evolved with your audience. We really want everyone, some people are very, very different. I might be on my lone little island on this, but the secret to Pinterest growth in 2025 is that you understand and know how to mix content formats and types that will drive strategic growth. So what I mean by this is that we use some content to drive visibility and other content to drive conversions. And there are, and I never like I'm friends with a lot of people who are considered my competitors. They're acquaintances. We're very friendly. We can have different opinions. And my opinion is Pinterest has not just doubled down. Last week, they hosted an entire public workshop encouraging you to use video content. And I can't tell you, but I have internal contacts at Pinterest, and I can't tell you exactly what is shared with me. But even if the messaging is that all pins are going to be good for your account, yes, that's true. But all platforms to some degree are integrating video. Have you not noticed that podcasters all publish their podcasts on YouTube now? That's because they want to get more content out of it, but they also know they need to be creating video. There are ways to get around video, but it's 2025 and Pinterest wants you to be using video. Now, we know what doesn't work, we know what some mistakes are, so let's talk about what you should be doing in 2025. So, there are certain types of content that drive results right now. Okay. So we know that your audience wants to be engaging with different content types. They want to be, they want value added to their experience. Okay. What I'm going to call out is people who have product based businesses who are just linking to their product catalog over and over and over again. You are not adding to the experience. You are not creating content that shows that you care about your audience. You have so much to give. And I know you're strapped for time. I am too. But I think that when we have this world of accessibility online, and what I mean is that, like, I remember when I didn't want to order things online. I remember when I didn't wanna do online banking. That's how old I am. I remember when I would rarely order things online because there were a lot of online scams. Heck, there's a huge amount of scams in the online marketing world. People calling themselves experts, people saying they can teach you things with their Pinterest guides. Those people have never actually achieved results. They are shilling what they learned from somebody else in a $2,000 course and regurgitating that information without having any real life experience. And so what you need to remember is that people are scrutinizing you more than ever, whether you're a product-based business, a service provider, you sell digital products, or even you create content. We're skeptical of influencers and content creators for living fake lives. We've seen it over and over again. I think that we really want to reinforce, I say we, like online marketers who are ethical, who care about you, who actually have experience in the trenches. You need to create content that allows people to get to know you and want your deep level of experience. I'll be really honest. I've decided that I love YouTube. I know that YouTube is incredibly complementary to my own marketing ecosystem. And I myself, as an online marketer, am looking for ways to double down and help more people so that they can see that I'm the real deal. And live YouTube training where you can ask me questions, where I can provide detailed explanations, allows me to do that. And that, it to me, is a privilege, right? That you guys are here, you're listening, you're learning, you're asking questions, you're commenting. But it allows you to know that the depth of experience that I have with online marketing, sustainable marketing, behind the curtain things like sales funnels, website optimization is deep and incredibly complementary. And, I know the phrase game changer is used a lot by ChatGPT, but it's a game changer. So this isn't just about Pinterest. So when we think about those different types of content that you already have, that content variety is crucial. So static images. So I want you right now, while you're watching this, think about marketing assets that you have in your arsenal, in your toolbox, that are image based. So think static posts on Instagram. Think about things you push out on Facebook. What about, are you using Threads or X? Are you using LinkedIn? Are you sharing images? Are you blogging and have images in your blog? Do you create an email newsletter? Do you share like text-based teachings or information or training that way? Then I want you to think about your video assets. Okay. Are you creating, and again, maybe make note of this, are you creating any short form video? This could be Instagram Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts. Where else are people creating video? People are creating video on LinkedIn. People are creating video, well, kind of everywhere now, right? Are you creating short form video? Next up, are you creating long form video? So that could be YouTube, that could be a private platform. I heard about Rumble, bloggers are using something called Rumble. It's like an independent YouTube. I hope that doesn't get this video banned. That would be a joke. I'm saying that, but that could very well happen. Are you creating any long form video? Or maybe you're like me, you host like a free challenge, or maybe you have some sort of long format video that you share to your blog. A lot of people do that. I think that there is so many different ways that people are working with video that you could be repurposing to Pinterest. Next up, audio. Do you have a podcast? Are you on any platforms where you share information in an audio format? That can be shared on Pinterest. I think that sometimes we have a tendency to not realize what we already have in our treasure chest, right? So let's remember there's also third party links. So do you sell on a third party marketplace? Spoonflower, Amazon, Etsy? Do you get interviewed or have you been featured on a website? Were you featured? I had a client that used to get featured in magazines all the time. Do you get interviewed? Are people maybe doing roundups where they talk about you? You could be creating pins that link to that content that promotes you. That's PR. That's good PR. So those are the major things types of content that you could be sharing. Now, next up, and I think that we've already sort of teased this out, but how to repurpose your content that you already have. So we know that you most likely, if you're watching this video, are already marketing your business in some way. So let's think about all the platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, blogging, X, Threads, a private or public podcast. Maybe you do a regular gig on Medium. What else? Think about all the links you have on your website. Or if you are an affiliate marketer, all the programs that you are part of. Every product is a new link. Pinterest wants you to show up consistently and add value to the end user's experience. Think about all that content. Think about all the video you've created over the years. Think about all the podcasts you've been interviewed on. Think about all the posts that you've done, maybe the carousels you've posted. You can repurpose carousels to Pinterest. All of this is an opportunity for you to grow and reach your ideal audience on Pinterest. Now, the role of Pinterest SEO. If you don't optimize that content when you bring it to the platform, it will disappear into the abyss and no one will see it because you are not optimizing for the way that the platform pushes out content. Now, there's always an exceptional case. We have some pins that just get shot out that do really, really well, but that is much like a lot of other platforms. You are at the whim of something catching somebody's eye and going viral. What I like about Pinterest and about YouTube and about Google and to some degree TikTok is that the control freak, the messy type A person, I'm like a little bit of type A, a little bit of type B. I know my shit. I know a lot. I don't always have the time to execute. But what I do know is when I put my efforts into my marketing, I want to control what I can. And I think that's why I always come back to Pinterest and other search focused evergreen marketing efforts, and why I love I will always talk about making your content discoverable. But if you are bringing content, and I'd love to hear from people if you're watching the replay or you're here live, is if you are using Pinterest or have used Pinterest in the past and put up content best to your ability, but you don't know what you don't know, and it's mostly zeros or 3 people see it, 4 people see it, and it's just kind of going and disappearing into the feed. That can happen. And that can happen because Pinterest is confused. It doesn't know what your content is about between the visuals, the video cover, the video content, or your images, and then the text that you're putting with your Pinterest pins. It doesn't know who to show your content to because it doesn't know what your content is about. And that's why my job as an educator in the Pinterest world is to teach you how to make it easy. We want to make sure that we're using Pinterest keywords and other SEO in our Pinterest efforts so that people can easily understand what our content is about. And more importantly, that the Pinterest crawler, the Pinterest technology knows what your content is about and therefore can ensure that they're showing it to relevant searchers on Pinterest, relevant search results. This is all about understanding relevancy and gaming it to your benefit as a business owner. So, now you know the type of content, right? We can be sharing images, carousels, short form video, long form video, articles, audio. Now, the common things that I see is how do I figure out what to pin each week? How do I create content that actually drives website traffic and sales or results? How do I stay consistent without wasting time? I think that we know that all these things kind of factor in, right? So you can think, well, I'm going to get started today, but what do I post next week? How do I know if it's working? What do results look like? And that's really why I started this video with talking about things that we can measure, data and analytics like website traffic, email subscriber, podcast downloads, people purchasing your product, people watching videos if you're a content creator or reading your blog content. There are so many different ways that people have monetized their content and their marketing and their products. And this is really why you need a clear strategy of how to repurpose your content, what you already have in your toolbox, and something that really tells you what exactly to pin on Pinterest and that you're not just wasting time and you're not leaving any opportunities. And it's actually why I created a low ticket, super affordable offer called the What to Pin on Pinterest or the What to Post on Pinterest. It is literally a steal. And I share a detailed workshop with you exactly what to share to Pinterest to help get results today, to start making sales from Pinterest directly this year. So I tell you what content you can be repurposing. I give you easy access to an idea bank and an inspiration bank. And actually, that's not it all. Last night I was thinking about how I can make this an easy yes for you. And I've decided to add a Pinterest content calendar. So exactly what you can be sharing, what you need to think about on a weekly basis. And this is a really easy system for you. It's not hours and hours of a course. It will allow you to get started today on Pinterest. It's a short workshop with swipe files and resources to help you get moving, to help remove that friction. And it's perfect if you are an e-commerce seller, you're a coach, you're a teacher, you are a content creator or blogger, a service provider. I cover all the bases to really help you figure out how to get consistent. And so I'm going to share a link. Oh, thank you very, very much. That's very kind of you to say that I'm an excellent communicator. Years and years of working in education. So if you want to skip the trial and error and really get a proven system for a steal of a deal, in the description of the video, I have my What to Pin on Pinterest offer or product, and I'm going to drop it into the chat right now so that if you want to grab it, you can. And this is instant access. So you buy today. I'm going to be adding in the Pinterest content calendar right away. I'm going to be working on that this week. We are on spring break here, but I'm always thinking about how I can help you more and give you things that will help you get it done and get it done without friction and to really just get started because you won't know what Pinterest can do for you until you start actually doing it. So, what I want to say is thank you for coming. Thank you for listening, asking and commenting and saying nice things. I know that this is just my first live training on YouTube, this in years, literally years since 2020. And so I was super, super excited. It's messy action, much like my husband's laundry. But I know that it's really about being able to teach you, to share information with you. You don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you just really need a quick system to get active and get growing on Pinterest. And I'm really excited for all the people who came live who have committed to at least listening, because that's the first step. First, you listen, Then you take action. And if you'd like to be able to do that quickly and easily, grab access now to my What to Pin on Pinterest. I will be sharing it via my email. So if you're on my email list, make sure you're looking out for those emails. And of course, if you're watching this video later and you learned something during today's training, make sure you follow or subscribe to my YouTube account. I will be sharing more content here on a regular basis, and I cannot wait to see your questions roll in. Thank you for coming with me today along on this live training journey on YouTube. It was a blast, hiccups and all, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye, everyone.